Hi, welcome to Tad's Silversmithing. Today it's time for a quick tip, and I thought I would focus on a trick that I use to have really stiff ear wires. So it's easy to spend a lot of money on pre-made ear wires, and it's relatively simple to make your own. But oftentimes when I buy wire from my jewelry supply company, it'll be dead soft, and so I need some wires that are a little bit stiffer than that. So I thought I would show you what I do, both when I run out of the kind of wire I need to make ear wires, and also just how to make some really stiff ear wires. Okay, well, let's get started. This is my sketchbook, or one of them that I have on my merch store. And most of these have some different useful information about metalsmithing on them. This one has different flow temperatures of various types of solder. Some of them have conversion charts on them, which are useful. They're a great place to keep track of your projects in. I now have a record of everything I've done in the past 5 years or so. And that's nice to be able to go back and see how I did things without having to reinvent the wheel. So you should get yourself one or two. So today I want to talk about ear wires and the fact that it's much cheaper to make your own ear wires. But oftentimes when we buy wire from a jewelry supply company, we get it in a dead soft state, which is really flimsy, and it doesn't really meet the requirements for an ear wire like a French wire or one that clips on itself, or even earring posts. But I wanted to share with you what I do in order to have nice stiff 20 gauge ear wires, and 20 gauge is generally what most people make it out of, but you can buy it half hard if you want, which is pretty stiff. But what I've done in recent years is I buy some 18 gauge, which is a little bit thicker, and I use my draw plate and I pull it through without doing any annealing, which softens the metal up. So if we avoid doing that, after the third pull we're at 20 gauge wire, and it'll be really stiff and springy, which is great for ear wires because that's kind of what you want. So you know, if you already have some soft 20 gauge wire though, you can always chuck it into a drill and twist it. That would be a way to get it really stiff. You can do it by hand if you want. This is a piece that I annealed a little bit earlier just to show this, since we're going to be doing the other kind. If you just bend it in like that, like that. If you twist the whole thing, it'll just get really stiff pretty quickly, actually. So that's one way to do it, and that's what I do on ear posts when I put posts on the backs of earrings, because when you solder them on, it anneals the wire, makes it really soft. So if you twist it after you do that, you know, then you get relatively springy wire. So, but let's go ahead and pull this through the draw plate. Right now you can see it's relatively malleable. It's just dead soft 18 gauge round wire, which is 1 millimeter for those of you overseas. So let's go over and do that. I'm going to try and give you a view of this without you seeing just how messy my shop really is. So this is a round wire draw plate, and it's got different gauges listed on here. There's 16, 18, 20. So we're already at 18 gauge right here, and if you notice, it's got a wider hole in the back. We need to go 1, 2, 3 pulls through it in order to get to 20 gauge, so it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to put a little bit of this lubricating stuff. This is blade butter, but it works pretty well for this too. Blade butter. Incidentally, if you have any butter in your refrigerator that's that color, don't eat it, okay? That would not be blade butter, that would be bad butter. Oh God, I'm making dad jokes. Okay, so we're going to start it right here. So I filed the end a little bit thinner, so we'll feed it through there so we can get a grab on it. These are called draw tongs. You can also use some vice grips if you want. Just grab that and pull it through. Let's see if I filed it small enough to get through the next one. I think so. Oh, maybe not. Let me file it just a little bit more. second one. You can feel that the wire is significantly stiffer than it was. And you can tell if you're familiar with using wire, you can tell that that's pretty springy just by the way it's moving, but we'll look at it closer. Of course, we'll cut this off right here. This is that end that I just had. But watch when you coil this up. You can see that it's much harder and springier. So that'll make for really good French hooks or whatever kind of ear wires you're making. Okay, tell me your little tricks about ear wires. I'd love to hear them. Alright, well that was a little trick about ear wires. I hope you enjoyed that one and found it useful. If you did, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button before you go. And I would also love it if you left a comment. I like suggestions for videos, I like constructive criticism, and I appreciate you telling me how you do things. I always like to know people's tricks and techniques as well. Take a moment and check out my main channel page. I have 625 plus videos now, and I do 3 per week, one on Tuesday, one on Thursday, and one on Saturday, so there's a constant stream of content coming out, and I think most of it's pretty useful. So tons of projects over there, so take some time and look at those, and then come back and make sure to subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost anything, and it makes it really easy to find my content. I'd like to thank a couple of groups of people. First off, my patrons over on Patreon are my core group of supporters, and I really appreciate that. Not only do they provide me with some financial relief, they also have created a really nice community over there full of a bunch of artistic people who are really cool. So thanks for doing that. I have a new one. Thank you, Jerry, for signing up. I really appreciate your support, and I think that you'll find it's a great group of people over there, so thanks again. The other group are my YouTube subscribers, and we just passed 28,000 subscribers, which is amazing. Thank you for that. Feel free to tell your friends and share my channel with others. That really helps me out. But thank you for all of the kind comments. I really love the nice people I've met through YouTube, and I've learned a lot from you guys as well, so thank you for that. I really appreciate that. I also appreciate the financial support. The Buy Me a Coffees, the super thanks, when you buy my merch off my shop, or when you buy my ebooks. All of that stuff makes my channel sustainable, and I do really appreciate that. So finally, visit the video description down below. There's some important links. There's a link to my Patreon if you want to find out more about the various tiers of membership over there. There's a link to my merch store should you want to get yourself one of those nice design idea sketchbooks or some other fun merch. And finally, there's a link to buy my newest ebook, which is a guide to 2025's tutorials. I did over 170 last year, and in the ebook there is a page for each one with a link to the video, a picture of the sketch I drew prior to it, a picture of the final outcome, a list of materials that it took to make the project, including some information about stones if it has stones in it. It has a difficulty rating, and it has some notes I took about the project, things that I might not have said in the video that I learned from it, or ways I might do it differently if I was to approach it again. That sort of thing, in order to give you the insights that I had from when I did the project. So I try to share the kinds of things that I learned from it with you so that it'll save you having to relearn that on your own. It's a great way to have a whole bunch of projects right at your fingertips, and a really nice way to support my channel, so get yourself one. You can even get all 3 years that I did so far, 2023, 2024, and 2025, as a package for a discount of $15 off. So check that out. It might be worthwhile for you. And thanks for watching today. Take care. Happy silversmithing.